Welcome back to the Fourth Place podcast.
Fourth Place podcast. Another episode, guys.
You look like you've just got out of bed.
Well, I pretty much did, basically. So
really?
Yeah, shit, yeah. I've been in bed since I got out of bed at about 4 p.m. this afternoon. So, and it's
living the dream.
It's about 7:30. It's about 8 o'clock here tonight. So I couldn't be bothered. Just jumped in the shower, got changed, and came over here. So
it's a way to live life.
Well, it is sometimes. So.
All right.
What's going on in the world this week?
Well, we have a very interesting slogan that a university in the Philippines has actually come up with.
Oh, this will be good.
So this is from Interaction. Yeah. The University of the East student publication got called out over a design blunder.
Yeah.
Where basically the slogan is "Make it count," which is completely fine under normal circumstances, except when you decide to put all the players in front of the O. So it then says, "Make it cunt."
Oh, that's outstanding. Well done to you out there. What's the name of the university again?
University of the East.
Well done to the University of the East having your slogan as "Make it cunt."
I feel like we should go there.
That is outstanding.
We should get T-shirts made.
Hold a sign. What do you reckon? Hold a sign or have it on a T-shirt. You can make it cunt.
That should be Marcus the Motivator's new slogan. You can make it cunt.
No, that's not going to be my slogan. But guess what? You can make it out there. When I go to the Philippines, and if we visit that again, it might be "You can make it cunt."
The "You can make it cunt" tour.
That is outstanding.
And then we have you pointing in the O.
You can make it cunt.
And they issued an apology where they assure you that the obscenity in our post is not intentional and far from the message we want to convey. Blah, blah, blah. But then they say we were simply trying to exercise our creative freedom by executing what we thought was aesthetically pleasing in our pub mats, but we seem to have failed in doing it successfully.
Yeah, I think.
Which to me kind of sounds like actually saying, no, we actually did it deliberately. Like one minute they're saying that they didn't do it deliberately, but then obviously they know. Yeah. And obviously you couldn't, hypothetically, if they did do it deliberately, they can't admit to the fact that they did it deliberately.
Yeah. Because clearly they actually did. But anyway.
Well, yeah. Our next story, which is quite an exciting one. From the Lad Bible, a guy cashed out his £1 accumulator worth nearly $100,000. And guess how much for?
Hold on. I think I know this story already. Because I think
way to ruin this.
It was about just under 200,000 or something, I think, from memory.
No, it was worth 100,000 and he cashed out for only £200.
He only cashed out for £200.
Yeah. So if he'd held it, he would have kept and won 100,000. But he
so he made the mistake of actually cashing out.
He cashed out when if he'd kept it.
What an idiot.
Well, you say the wrong time. Technically, maybe it wasn't the wrong time because.
No, there was. So add to this. There was another guy who put a multi on about a week or two ago, and he had a whole bunch of European football matches in it.
Yeah,
where he'd bet one team to win and both teams to score, and it was a £5 bet, and the total ticket value was something like £300,000 or something. Wow. But what happened was. He got to a certain point in one of the matches where the team he'd bet on to win and both teams to score went down 1-0 and then they equalised. And then he decided to cash out at that point for it was somewhere in the order of about 150, 170,000 or something.
Jeez.
And then what happened was the team that he bet against actually scored. So he cashed out at the exact perfect time.
Well, that's perfection.
Like absolute perfection in terms of
completely the opposite of what we're talking about here.
Complete opposite, but this bloke actually cashed out at the exact perfect time. He couldn't have done it because if you have to let it, loses the whole thing.
Well, this guy, Jack Baines from Scunthorpe, in a Manchester United fan, he decided to stick a pricey sum of £1 on an unlikely 7-team accumulator. As luck would have it, he found himself in a position to cash out for around £200 on the Saturday fixtures due to a close. The take the money and run, you might think you'd be wrong. While sitting £200 up for the weekend in an enviable position, he watched in horror as the rest of the results came in.
If it's £1, who cares? You just let it ride and see what happens.
This is a very interesting situation because there was during the Crystal Palace, that is, and Manchester United game. He's a Manchester United fan, and he'd obviously bet on Manchester United.
And anyway, you cashed out then?
So he'd cashed out before
What
this.
an idiot.
So wouldn't
There's
you?
no
Be,
sweat on the
but that
game.
puts you in that situation where you're actually cheering against your own team.
You're an idiot.
Yeah, but would you rather?
Buddy, you are an idiot. You had a £1 bet and you cash out for it at £200. That's not even relevant. You got your ticket. You had a ticket value worth like so much. Maybe if you got to the point where it was worth like 50,000 or something, then I could understand you maybe cashing out.
Well,
But
let me put it
anything
to you
less than
this
that-
way: if let's say that you've cashed out on a $100,000 bet that rides on your team to win, and
If it's
no, you've cashed out for 200, and it's come down to your team is the final game, and you've already cashed out. Would you be cheering against your team in the hope that
I
you
wouldn't
didn't
be stupid enough to cash out in the first place.
Well, we're not in this hypothetical. You've already done it.
Well,
So
a hypothetical is a stupid one because,
for
buddy,
fuck's
you're an
sake.
idiot. I wouldn't be how can you cheer against your team?
because then you wouldn't feel so bad about not.
Well, you're again. It's just why did you cash out when you want to have something to support? Because it's always good to have a sweat on your team. You got to have that.
Well,
sweat
he bet
your team.
on so he thought it was all right because Spurs would do it anyway against Newcastle. So his bet was going to let him down anyway. But then Newcastle went and beat the Tottenham Hotspurs, meaning that all 7 of his results were correct.
Buddy, you need to take a good look in the mirror and stop worrying about $200. Instead, have a free swing at how much was it?
100,000.
100,000 instead.
Well, he
You don't bet that amount.
well, Lad Bible did pay him £100 for the story, so he did end up with £300 in
Who
total.
cares? That's not going to be worth it when the fact that you should have won £100,000 instead.
Well, and then he's going to use the money wisely and throw it on a bet to see what he can get out of that.
Just even dumber. Go and put another 7-leg multi on instead for £1. That's way more fun. Let's be honest. That's
and
way
do like
better.
30 of them.
And do a whole bunch of them. One of them get up instead.
On sports you have no idea about.
Exactly.
This is where you've gone wrong. You bet on sports you know about.
Yeah. Bet on shit you have no idea. Like him. It's the best thing ever.
If you're not betting on sports you don't even know how they're played, then clearly you're not betting.
Bet on like second division. Bet on like second division Ecuadorian soccer or something.
Or bandy.
Bandy, same stuff.
Esports where you don't even know what
Yeah.
particular difference between any of them
Bet
are.
on like StarCraft or something. 2 people playing computer games against each other.
Well, I think
Definitely know who's going to win that.
moving on, I think it's time that we address the elephant in the room and ask the question on everyone's minds out there.
Yeah.
So, did you jizz on the moon?
Did I jizz on the moon?
Yes.
No.
You sure?
Yeah, I'm sure.
Well, then how can you explain that there is a gel-like substance with unusual color found on the moon's dark side?
I don't know. You jizzed on the moon?
No, I'm accusing you of it.
Well, I'm accusing you of it because.
But I already accused you.
Well, I'm accusing you back of it because you're the one who's tried to accuse me.
Yeah, but why did you jizz on the moon?
I didn't jizz on the moon. You did.
You did.
You did. I
did.
definitely didn't do it.
That's not very nice. All right, well, it turns out that I need to change my diet because a teenager's gone blind after eating only fries, chips, white bread, sausages, and ham since elementary school.
Good work, buddy. Great healthy diet there. Like, what do you think's going to happen to your body if you put shit into it all the time? You literally are going to turn into a piece of shit.
Well, yeah, but he's a fussy eater, so you know.
Buddy, learn to eat something else fussy instead of chips with barbecue sauce and meat.
There's
all the
no
time.
barbecue sauce. He
Well,
said only chips, fries, white bread.
Put some hot sauce in there instead.
I love that, like, of the 5
things.
things, 2 of them, one of them is fries and one of them is chips.
Yeah, exactly the same thing, basically.
It's got to be living the dream. He
Sounds like a good idea.
by the age of 15, his hearing and vision started to fade.
No shit. No. That's a lesson for everyone out there. Don't do what this idiot did and eat crap all the time. Otherwise, you literally are absolutely fucked.
I think you got to add some chocolate pudding into this, and then you'd be fine.
Chocolate pudding would save him.
Probably, it possibly would have actually.
Chocolate pudding would have actually saved him in this instance, because all he's doing is eating deep fried, crappy, savory food all the time instead of eating something sweet and delicious.
And
That
so
would have given him a balanced diet.
So what makes this even more insane is the fact that even after this and going blind, etc., he still eats the same diet. He's just now started taking vitamin supplements.
Yep. Good on you, buddy. Keep going. Good on
That
you.
is dedication.
Well done.
Absolute dedication.
Round of applause to your wonderful diet out there.
Yeah. Okay. Next story from The Age.
Where's the Age newspaper from? Well, Australia, obviously.
Yeah. Well, obviously.
Not everyone out there may know that.
Well, fine.
Well, the Age is a newspaper here in.
Yeah. Who founded it and in what year? And can you tell us a bit about the board that owns it? And,
no, I don't know anything.
Who gives a shit?
Anyway, keep going.
All right. So he uses the quote. This is a raid. Where's the drugs? Addicts stormed in dressed as cops. A drug addict dressed up as a police officer before storming an associate's home screaming, "This is a police raid and where are your drugs?" The person actually thought he was the real deal, and the victims handed over their ice and cannabis stash before being beaten so badly with a hammer that the real police thought they died. They believed and the guy believed the men were holding back and beat one of them with a hammer until he passed out. And then he said to the other, "We've killed your mate. Now tell us where the drugs are." The other victim woke up and was hit in the head. Then his pants were pulled down and buttocks spread to check for the drugs. Slightly desperate.
Would you not?
At what point? At what point do you think the guys realized he wasn't the real police?
Well, if you didn't realize after, say, this is a raid, where are the drugs? I would have said, where are the drugs would have been pretty fucking sus, just quietly.
I don't know. That seems, I don't know. It seems like possibly something I could say.
You must be police don't ask for where the drugs are. They actually go searching for them. They don't demand you tell them where they are.
Well, they actually did. When the real police came, they thought the people were actually dead and began to take photos of their bodies. And then when one of them moved, that's only when they realized that they were actually still alive.
Well, yeah, that's more realistic of what police do, is that they'll ram in to start with, but they're not going to start yelling and screaming, "This is the police, where are the drugs?"
Well, it sounds like someone has experience in this matter.
No, I don't. But it doesn't sound like that's what police
So how does
do.
your normal drug raid go?
Wouldn't have a fucking clue. But I don't think it'd be anything like that. Where are the police? Give me the drugs. I'm going to kill your friend.
Normally you make them tea and then they hit you with a hammer and then they spread your asshole.
Yeah. You would have thought after they like spread your ass and wanted to try and put like a hammer or something up there that you'd do something about it just quietly.
Yeah. All right. So this one is from Business Insider. Robbers stormed a Popeyes chicken in Houston, demanding chicken sandwiches at gunpoint after being told the location was sold out.
I'd just give them the chicken sandwiches.
Well, I don't know if you've heard about the craze in the chicken sandwich war that's going on in America at the moment.
Tell me about it.
Between Popeyes and Chick-fil-A, they have a war, which is obviously escalated to the point where people are actually robbing stores. And there were people breaking in to actually steal chicken sandwiches because they want them.
Breaking in to steal chicken sandwiches. Right. To all of you people out there, if you want a chicken sandwich, I would actually happily make you one if I had the time and ability to.
So Marcus lives at 27
Road, Box Hill, Victoria. I don't know what.
No, you probably shouldn't actually give out someone's address, because what if someone went to some random's house and it was like, "Where is Marcus?
Good luck to,
give me your drugs," and then
we apologise to the residents of 27. Box Hill.
If you're going to do it, film it and tag us.
They will make you a yummy chicken sandwich with some delicious.
If not, you beat them with a hammer and then check their ass.
What do you like to have on a chicken sandwich?
Drugs.
Drugs, okay. I personally like to have like chipotle sauce
I don't know.
with some cheese, maybe a bit of hot salami on top as well.
Wow, that's riveting.
And I don't know something spicy to give it something spicy as well.
I don't think I've ever had a chicken sandwich or anything you're describing remotely makes me want to rob a Popeyes.
I don't understand why people want to rob Popeyes for a chicken sandwich. That'd have to be pretty delicious.
But everyone out there, if you want a chicken sandwich, go visit Marcus.
Yep.
And
you know where to find me.
I think we actually have to beep the thing out.
Yeah, you have to beep that out otherwise.
Yeah, I would love to set it up though, where we actually did that and then just set up a camera and then waited and then see if people rock up and then.
Or do you want to do it here and see what happens?
No, but if people rocked up and then we had to they start demanding to random other people that they
I'd love to give out a. I've got an address I'd love to give out actually, but I probably shouldn't.
In that case you definitely shouldn't.
Yeah.
But imagine doing it at someone
I was going to give out a very public place, to be honest, but I think I'd get in trouble even for giving out that very public place.
Meet me at the McDonald's in the city and then we'll demand some chicken sandwiches.
Chicken fillet burgers, yeah.
That's what it says a lot about McDonald's. No one's ever robbed a McDonald's for a chicken sandwich. McDonald's, you need to step your game up.
Well, yeah, we're going to talk about no, let's just leave it.
What?
Well, clearly the food's not good enough for people to want to rob it.
Yeah, I know.
So
you need to step your game up or otherwise
I mean, who wants a drink?
you're not going to get robbed.
Yeah.
At the end of the day, fast food is about being robbed for the quality of your food.
I think Hungry Jack's have got a better chance of getting robbed than McDonald's.
Are they? But how often is Hungry Jack's being robbed?
Well, it depends which ones you go to.
Really? You've seen the Hungry Jack's being robbed?
No.
Well, then why would you bring it up?
Oh, there's one that I've been to that I reckon has been numerous times. So
All right.
I don't know which. I'm not going to disclose which location it is.
Okay. Ooh, now you get all secretive.
What should I mention the location of where it could have happened?
No, because that's
exactly.
wasted time.
Yeah. You got to beat that out.
Well, anyway, so now we move on to one of the biggest stories coming out of the Ashes.
Yes.
So take a guess what it is. The
I don't
biggest
know.
story to come out of the Ashes.
I've
cricket.
been watching the cricket for the last 4 weeks.
But have you been paying attention?
Probably not as much.
No. Have you? Okay.
Firstly,
well, if you were to give a guess as to what the biggest story to come out of the Ashes was.
Let's see. No, I can't think because I'm only
Very
thinking about
imaginative.
the actual cricket at the moment.
Very imaginative.
It wasn't. No, it wouldn't be someone getting smacked on the head or something with a ball. Although that's happened.
No,
plenty of
that's
times
pretty boring.
already. Yeah. Why? What have we got?
Well, it involves Peter Laylaw, a cricket writer from Australia.
Yep.
Now, this report comes from Channel 7 where so he bought a beer.
Oh.
The most
$100,000
yes,
beer.
100,000 or 55,000 pounds more specifically.
Yes.
For a beer.
Yes, I did hear about this one actually. I only saw the. I didn't read the. Can you read the article? I've only seen the. I only heard.
Well, he bought a beer and it was supposed to be £5.50, but when he came to pay a member of staff, became apparent that there was something not quite right, and he didn't read it properly. And he put his credit card through, and somehow or other he's
paid £55,000 for a beer.
Yeah, and then he got a transaction fee of $2,500.
I think it read on the thing that his wife had sent him a text message saying, "What the fuck have you done?"
Sorry, honey, I just had a beer.
Sorry, I just had a beer. At which point he's like, "This is not right at all."
What would be going through his head at that point, where he's like, just from the text, not knowing the background, he's like, "Oh shit, how does she know that I did this or whatever?"
How do you,
I only had one. How would she know?
Yeah. Yeah, I did see that. That was quite interesting, actually. That one was quite amusing.
Well, I have a new segment for us.
What do we have this time?
I call this week 1 of the NFL reviewed by 2 people who haven't seen it.
Okay.
So I have the key takeaways from week 1 of the NFL.
We do like the NFL out there, just for the record.
Except with the timing and everything, it's on during the day on a Monday here. So in general, it's not the easiest thing to watch. So
unless you're me.
Well, yeah. Well, you saying you were up this morning watching it all?
I may have seen some of it.
Okay. Well, that just...
I know. Anyway, keep going.
Well, how much of it have you seen?
Not
Clearly,
much,
even if you did see...
I haven't seen much, to be honest.
You would have had to see every game to get the next
I didn't,
part.
because I am saying I'm pissed off about something right now.
Okay.
To the NFL coverage out there that took off Red Zone on the pay TV subscription, I wasn't happy that I couldn't watch every big play or every touchdown happen going on this morning while I was watching a little bit of it here and there. I'm not happy that Red Zone, which plays everything, is gone now. It's crap. It's utter shit.
Then you don't get to watch the 2-minute...
Well, let's go.
2 minutes of ads followed by a kick, followed by 2 more minutes of ads.
I hate that. Give me all the action I want right now instead. Right, let's go.
I feel like that actually holds the NFL back. There's too much breaks.
It sucks.
Yeah.
It's so shit.
It'd be so much better if there was more...
Or just more action, constant going. That's why Red Zone was so good.
Well, I'm going to give it to you then, since you've seen it, so you can read what things, and then I'm going to guess what what you're describing.
Things that made me giddy.
This is from Sports Illustrated. This is the Sports Illustrated
week
key
1
takeaways. Yes.
Key takeaways from NFL week 1. Lamar Jackson looking like he did at Louisville, which playing a team slightly less talented than any team he'd faced at Louisville. But while the competition was bad, you can't agree with the results like this. He had 314 yards, 5 touchdowns, and 3 incompletions. I mean, that doesn't mean who gives a fuck about the incompletions.
That is actually a very weird thing to mention. Like, why would you
mention? I mean,
okay. So what they're saying is it was only 3.
only 3 incompletions.
Yes,
that is actually quite impressive.
Yeah.
So what did he go for? How many attempts did he have?
Well, that would have helped if they had done that. Sports Illustrated.
It would have been more impressive. Would have been more impressive if we had have seen that he was like.
He had 8.
If he had
5 touchdowns, 324 yards, and then 3 incompletions.
How many passes do you reckon? How many attempts do you reckon?
I'm going to go 21.
So, yeah, it would have been more impressive if they had said he was like 23 from 26 or something. That's way more impressive.
I think 5 from 8 with 5 touchdowns and 324 yards is pretty impressive.
He's thrown for like an average of like
5 from 8.
60, so he's just throwing like an average of
70
like
yards.
60 or 70 yards. Fucking just lob one down into the end zone every single time.
Yeah. Or maybe one, there were like 3 lots of 100 or 99.
Yeah.
And then 125 and then 130 and then he lost a few yards on him.
I don't even know the rest. I haven't seen much of it. You can read out the rest because I've had a quick scroll through and I can't even remember.
Well, apparently wedding bells were ringing because, and I quote, this Kellen Moore / Dak Prescott marriage looked an awful lot like a 2019 offense, play action, first downs with lots of exclamation marks here.
Yeah.
Rather than the spread ISO stuff you used to see. If this is how it's going to be, the Cowboys are going to have to pony up to keep these two together.
So Dak Prescott with whoever he's got receiving at the
Congratulations on your marriage.
Good.
I hope you enjoy your honeymoon.
Good luck, Dak Prescott.
Yep. Who do you think is the top and the bottom in that relationship?
I'm going to say Dak Prescott's the one taking it, to be honest.
Yeah, I feel like he's getting darked.
Yep, quite literally.
All right, well, the Eagles hit the snooze button. They slept in. That's not very good.
Well done, Philadelphia.
I mean, in such a professional, multi-billion sport, how do you sleep past your alarm?
Probably pretty comfortably, I'd imagine, when they're getting paid $5 million a year.
But they did get to school on time, so I think it's pretty creepy. A bunch of old men, or grown men at least, hanging out at school, but you know, whatever. That was getting awfully hairy in the first half. I don't understand what
None of this makes any sense at the moment.
the hair on the players doesn't really affect anything. Against a Washington team that shouldn't have been able to hang.
You mean a
Were they
Washington
grounded
team?
and they shouldn't have been able to hang out? But ultimately, Carson Wentz turned it on. Some might say he Wentz.
Fuck, that's a bad play. of words.
Deshaun Jackson opened it up. That could be read in a lot of ways, and most of them are very dirty.
Yep.
And the Eagles cruise thanks to 25 unanswered second half points.
Well, that'd do it. So that's
Congrats on that. Good weekend for the Brown family. Okay. Antonio forces his way out of Oakland's tire fire and into the gentle bosom of
He's
Bill
off to the
Belichick.
Patriots.
Well, according to this, he's into the gentle bosom of Bill Belichick.
Yeah.
I wouldn't really envisage him of having a gentle bosom, but you know.
He was on there's a show on ESPN
Hard Knocks.
called Hard Knocks
Yes.
where they followed. I watched one of the episodes.
I watched all of the episodes actually.
I haven't watched them all. I wouldn't mind actually. I only watched. I think it was the 5th episode where they started doing the cuts.
Yeah. I always
And,
find it interesting when they do the cuts of the people that are like destroyed and
It was
sucks for you.
It's brutal. It was ruthless.
Yeah, but you
But
know.
I understand that's how it is.
Yeah.
Anyway, keep going.
Meanwhile, cousin Marquise Brown runs wild and free all over the
None
Dolphins.
of this makes any sense.
Well, he obviously ran for a lot of yards, I'm assuming.
Who what?
The rookie racked up 147 yards, including first quarter TDs of 83 and 47 yards.
Yeah. So he's had a good day out.
Actually, that means that he had a pretty shit day out if you take out the first quarter, because 83 and 47 and he only ran for 147. So that means he only ran for 17 in the next 3 quarters.
Yep,
So unless they rested him, up he game, you bum. Josh Allen finds a way. Okay. He was careless with the ball, even if you discount the pick 6 that was Cole Beasley's fault.
Yeah.
Allen had 3 other turnovers and 1 bad interception called back due to a penalty off the ball. But you have to love the fact that he rallied and scraped out a comeback when trailing 16-0
Good effort.
on the road against a division opponent. This morning's Pokemon analogy still stands.
Right.
I don't know what the fuck that means, but
Is that all from the NFL this week?
no, there's a shitload of it. Deshaun Jackson is back where he belongs. He should have played his entire career in Philadelphia, and in his return, he saved the day. 8 catches, including 2 50-plus yard TDs, and the Eagles comeback win. Okay, I thought they were giving them shit earlier, but now they're praising the Eagles. Mike Zimmer's wildest dreams come true. I strongly doubt that his wildest dreams.
They probably didn't. No.
No. To win a game while attempting 10 passes. Surely he has better wild dreams than that, and I'm sure they
Is this the
involve.
shit Sports Illustrated come up with, is it?
Yeah, you would think that they would understand
It's
it.
just,
You can start reading the next
it's
part.
just crap. What are we banging on about this rubbish for? It's
Well,
just
I don't
like
know, girl.
individual games or performances.
Yeah.
There's so many. Who cares?
Well,
The only thing matters is each result. Who cares what the players did? I mean, Brady just
what do
absolutely.
you mean who cares what the players did? I think pretty much everyone involved cares what the players did because that's how people are judged. That's kind of how you understand why you win or
Kyler
lose.
sacked by his own lineman. Woohoo, boy.
Was
I
he?
suppose. Well, was he? He might have sack tapped him instead, probably. That's something more.
Sack tap by his own moment. Now that would be hilarious
Yeah,
to see.
exactly. That would be funny. I mean, let's be honest. Brady made a mess of the Steelers this afternoon. I watched a bit of that game. In fact, I turned it off because it was so boring in the end. Because Brady's just gone lob, and just no one got anywhere near the receiver. I think it was Edelman he threw it to.
Riveting.
Oh, it's just. Okay, Gal, let's see if there's anything more interesting from sports.
Marlon Max puts the Colts on his back. So I'm assuming he carried it. Indy did it right against the Chargers. If their Hall of Fame kicker didn't have the worst day of his career, they would have gotten the road win.
Well, they got no more Andrew Luck to help them.
They're all out of luck.
They literally are all out of luck.
Now that was a pretty crazy story.
Let's talk about that.
Yeah.
Andrew Luck just deciding to retire.
There's a lot of irony in having that name, though, if you're going to
I know.
just leave.
I'd heard and I'd seen
Oh,
things.
well, you have the inside word, so yeah, tell us.
I'd seen things where people
As a Colts insider yourself?
not really a Colts insider, but I'd
Not
seen,
really.
Well,
Not
I'm
really.
let's be honest. I've only heard, and I can only assume things that people have gone, well, he's either so mentally and physically just exhausted from having played NFL for however long that he has that he's gone, I can't do this anymore. I think it's more physical than anything else.
Yeah.
Like his body must have got so smashed up.
It's just a weird time to do it still.
Yeah, it kind of made no sense why you'd do it at the start of the season, because then you're absolutely screwing over a team.
I
Like
guess.
you're better off doing it halfway through a season instead.
Yeah, but
if
then
your
you got to
team's
play
not
half the
doing well.
season.
Yeah, but
I think if you get paid for the whole year and just not even work the whole year.
but the timing was so weird that at least like halfway through the season the teams can kind of be prepared because they'd have a couple of backups.
Yeah.
Whereas
but I don't know.
they're going with one guy at the start, like just before the start of the season, and the backups are like, well, okay, we know what's happening, and then out of nowhere, suddenly their lead quarterback goes, well, I'm just retiring because I can't be out. I don't want to play anymore. They go, well, shit, this changed 180 real quickly.
Yeah. But still, like, I don't know. If you can't be bothered, you can't be bothered.
Yeah. I mean, I think that's going to happen a lot more now in this day and age where professional athletes are they're only going to play like 5 or 6 years, earn all their money, and then just.
Well, half the
Get
NFL
out.
is, I think the NFL average is in like 3 years.
Yeah, it's not much at all.
But anyway, this brings me to my next idea of, so if you were to pick random shit and it actually happened, then people would think of you as Nostradamus.
Yeah.
So let's be Nostradamus and predict what's going to happen for the whole year in the NFL.
What do I think?
predict that Brady will break his arm and come back 3 weeks later and win the game. And it'll be important.
Which
for
arms are going to break?
the left arm.
Brady breaks his left arm. He's still going to play.
In a furious wanking incident. Where
What do I think is going to happen? I'm trying to think of.
what do you reckon is going to be the most obscure off-season incident for the year?
I'm
Given we've
trying
had
to
people
think of-
beating their wives, people beating random people in elevators, people beating their kids, random helmet issues.
Oh yeah, Antonio Brown not liking his equipment.
I reckon
That was
someone
quite
gets.
amusing.
I reckon
Actually,
someone gets sacked from a team because they upset the rest of the team because they spread STDs throughout the locker room.
Oh,
Be from whipping them
that-
with towels.
that could happen.
It's probably already happened, I reckon.
Well, do you reckon was it one play? It was one player at the start of the season last year. He just walked out. He walked out on his team at like halftime.
Yeah, halftime. The guy
just
from
straight
I think it was
walked
from
out.
the Buffalo
It was
Bills. Yeah.
Whatever it was, he just walked out straight out. He's like, I'm not doing this anymore.
Yeah.
Gone. $5 million. You paid $5 million for a year and you just don't bother.
Yeah, but I
playing.
don't think he was going to earn it anyway.
But still, whatever. Even if he earns like
He wasn't going to. No,
$2
they
million.
would have got rid of him like the next week probably anyway. So it's like
still
even
like,
before they do it. So yeah. What
um,
else?
I reckon. I'm trying to think of a player. In fact, what do we think?
What do you think is going to happen to Antonio Brown?
I reckon Antonio Brown. He's going to do something crazy. Like he's going to do something crazy
He's gonna
in
tweet a video.
Belichick's. He's going to do something crazy to piss off Belichick. That's for sure. He's going to like dance in front of Belichick after like catching a ball.
I
or
reckon
something ridiculous.
he films in the locker room and accidentally exposes some players
Yeah,
naked. and
that's every chance. I
then
don't even
has to leave
think that's
because of-
like. I reckon that's almost a certainty to happen. To be honest, with the amount he's on social media, the amount of stuff he puts on Twitter, it's almost a certainty to happen.
I predict there's going to be a draw that changes everything.
So you reckon they'll have a draw where neither team actually?
Changes everything, and it's going to affect the results of the.
The problem
Full
is they've
on
got
draw.
like their play. They've got their their overtime rules and shit.
Yeah, and then what happens if you don't hit overtime?
What, you don't hit overtime?
Yeah, they have overtime in NRL. It happened a few weeks ago where they didn't make it. No one scored in overtime, so it ended up being a tie.
I mean, this is why the NFL makes no sense to me.
Why?
Is because they've got overtime rules and they haven't even thought of all the contingencies.
Well, I just gave an example from NRL, not NFL, and I don't even know what they're. Possibly they do have it.
No, I think
at some
there
point
can
they're gonna
be
stop.
yeah, but you're better off having drawn. Do you reckon you're better off having drawn games than like weird overtime scenarios?
No, you have overtime, but then you have the.
But you've got to have
keep
some way
going
where
forever.
you've got to have some. Yeah, it's got to keep going until you actually get a result.
This is why I say in the next 5 years, there's going to be a game that finishes at 5 a.m. because they keep going.
That
for
would
overtime.
be quite amusing.
Yes, and neither team wants to lose.
Yeah, can you imagine like overtime going for longer than the actual game?
Yeah,
That
a
is
solid
genuinely
5
possible.
hour overtime.
I mean, that can't happen in
That
tennis.
would have to be literal death.
That can't happen in tennis anymore. Unfortunately,
Yes, it
Uh,
nearly did before.
no, it has happened
I know
previously.
it's gone to like 50s.
More,
More.
yeah.
What did it go to?
So there was a Wimbledon game. There was a Wimbledon tennis match. I remember it clear because I wasn't at, but I'd seen the actual. I was actually watching a bit of the tennis match on the TV. So it was Nicholas Mahut and John Isner. So it went unbelievably at Wimbledon. And I've even seen the plaque at the court where it happened because I went to Wimbledon a few years ago.
Oh, subtle brag there.
No, I'm just saying I've seen the
No,
plaque.
it's
yeah,
irrelevant.
whatever. You call it subtle brag, whatever. It went 70-68 in the fifth. So that's where a set of tennis has
Did you
gone.
see that while you're visiting the Queen and having
I don't care about the
a
Queen.
tea with her?
No, I don't care about the Queen. That's where one set of tennis went.
And that's
way
when
longer.
Meghan Markle said, "Hey,
Yeah, who
thanks,
cares about
Marcus."
Meghan Markle?
She
no,
recognized you.
that tennis match
As a
ended
chicken
up
fan.
going for 3 days.
Jesus.
3-day tennis match. Can you imagine an NFL game? Do you reckon an NFL game would go for 3 days?
No, I think if they went 10 minutes more, they'd probably die as it is.
Well, then you'd actually
I
probably
feel
get
like
a
they're
result.
literally nearly in a car crash.
That's when you end up getting a result. Is when you get people just go because someone will survive and just run
I'm
over
going
and
to make a
score
prediction.
instead.
Someone's going to die in the NFL in a game in the next 5 years.
Yeah, you would have thought that would have already happened with how hard they hit each other.
I'm sure there's been like paralysis. Oh, even like last year, there was that guy from the Steelers who got paralyzed or whatever.
Yeah, but he didn't die.
Yeah, I know, but it's not much of a stretch
I mean,
to
you
then
got
die.
the thing is
It's happened in like the junior stuff,
Yeah, that's because you got
even here
kids.
as well, though,
Yeah,
from head contact.
the thing is because they got helmets, they get that little bit of protection, which I'd say is enough.
No,
'Cause
it'll still fuck you up.
I'm not, but it won't kill you. I'm not saying it won't. Like,
People regularly die in college, in high school football.
yeah, that's because you got developing young brains that aren't mature. That
Oh,
shouldn't be coping with that shit. Let's be
Sorry for
honest.
bragging again about you and your mature brain while these.
I don't have a
young
mature
kids.
brain, to be honest. My brain
Sure.
is still at about, I'm going to say 9 years old.
9.
Yeah, 2 actually is probably more appropriate, actually. So
2 years old.
2 years old sounds about right. So,
That just doesn't.
but yeah, something weird will happen in the NFL. I reckon.
Well, that's the point of predicting it, and then we can.
I'm trying to work out
claim
which
that we knew it was
quarterback.
going to happen.
I'm trying to work out.
I've always wanted to do like a Facebook thing where you predict every game, and then you just hide. You hide every post, and then you just make the one that was accurate
Visible.
visible. And then you can guarantee that you had perfect odds. That actually reminds me, there's nothing that I like more than tipping agencies that celebrate their 22 out of 23 leg multis.
Oh
that
yeah,
got up.
that's good. Yeah, there was another one that actually came up that I saw. Ladbrokes had celebrated someone getting a 20 leg multi up.
Yeah.
Apparently, it was £1 into £50,000.
Jesus.
Um,
That makes me think I should start looking at. Keep going.
I was like a lot of these that get put up. You think they're full of crap half the time, don't you?
No, I feel like they put them up because whatever, and some drunks put whatever on there.
Yeah, but I get the feeling a lot of it's just marketing crap just for people.
Well, no, they see the opportunity to market.
Yeah.
Like here's one.
think a lot of it's
a
crap.
punter put 60,000 on Khabib Nurmagomedov.
Yeah, the UFC,
the UFC fighter at
yeah.
$1.22, which is a pretty
that's a
solid
pretty
bet.
safe bet because I have it on good authority that Khabib is an outstanding UFC fighter. And not only is he actually good at what he
your,
but not only is he good what he does.
Who was telling you that?
No, but his background, right? His background.
Who was telling you? Dana White told you that when you were at UFC?
But I'm going in a different direction. I'm not talking about his fighting specific stuff, but the background where he came from in Russia.
Yeah,
I can't remember. I got told, but I can't remember how to pronounce it. The area where he's grown up, the kind of culture of where he's going up is that the people there are kind of, they're good people, but they're very passionate and borderline like eccentric about how they go about doing things. So in other words, they're a bit crazy sometimes. So his attitude is so basically the attitude is fuck everyone. I'm going to do whatever. Apparently sometimes they kill each other. Basically they're that crazy in the area that he grew up. So that's what I've kind of heard is. So it doesn't surprise me when he beats the living shit out of his opponents almost all the time. So did you see that? I don't know if you saw McGregor put a tweet up saying he wants a rematch in Moscow.
Yeah.
He wants the rematch in Moscow.
That would be fun.
Do you reckon McGregor would get out of Russia alive if he actually beat him?
Yeah, of course. They have this thing called security.
Yeah, but I don't probably, but still.
What do you mean probably? There's no way they're going to let anything happen to him.
Yeah.
Do you realize the global incident it would be if something happened?
Yeah, I understand, but let's be honest.
They need to blame it on him if
I
they
don't
did.
think Khabib would give a flying fuck.
Would.
I mean, Khabib went jumping out of the octagon when they were doing it in New York and started jumping.
Yeah, but that's...
I mean, that was insane.
Yeah, that's just a regular day.
That's what I said. They're eccentric, crazy people. So the McGregor and Khabib didn't want to beat up on each other. Both teams basically wanted to beat the shit out of each other instead, probably.
True, but then you got to get past all the security and all the hype of what would happen.
It'd be hilarious. I'm sure a rematch would be wonderful. So
going back a couple of weeks, someone put $200,000 at $1.05 on Melbourne Storm to beat Gold Coast.
Well, that was funny because I know someone else who started betting the other way.
I mean,
I did know about the.
There was no way that was going to happen. They were going to lose, but at the same time,
well, that match was interesting to start with because for the first half, for at least the first 30 minutes, Gold Coast were actually leading, and were playing better. I remember watching it a bit and going, "Can you imagine this bloke who's got 200 grand on it? He'd be shitting himself just a bit at this point."
You would be so fucking worried.
He would have been a little bit worried, I would have thought. He would have wanted like Melbourne to be, I don't know, 2 tries in front at halftime or something just to feel a little bit more comfortable. So
you would have expected them to smash it, but oh well.
Well, that didn't actually happen. It didn't end up happening. But
it reminds me of another story of fill-in. Did you see that? The Collingwood player who decided to play.
Yes.
Well,
you're a Collingwood supporter. You tell this story about filling.
One of the players who was injured decided to play local basketball and put his name down as Phil in, which the level of humor in it is just priceless.
It is outstanding. But
getting caught, and then he got caught red-handed and then tried to deny it, I think, and then they were able to prove it or some shit. And then the TV ran the name on the TV as players missing, fill in.
Yeah.
So priceless.
Did you see there was a supporter that weekend watching?
That had this shirt.
He had the shirt fill in on.
I'm surprised they even do that because I think the club would have to. Usually the clubs are the ones who customize the shirt, which means you have to go to the club.
Yeah, but how hard is it to get a plain Collingwood jersey and just get someone else to put fill in on it?
I don't know.
Sure, you can just get the iron-on letters and stuff.
Well, then we should get iron-on letters for you, some random shit.
Well, what would you wear having written on your back for a sporting team?
D head.
D. You've got to come up with something better than D head.
I don't know.
What could you? Oh,
I feel like you need to put something with a stutter in it. Which actually reminds me that I found that so the other day I was watching the dogs and they had a race that was like sponsorships available stakes.
Yep.
So then I looked it up and it was only $100 to sponsor a race, which just we then obviously have
We've got to do it.
Yes.
We've got to do this. We've got to sponsor a dog race.
I feel like we should do FFFF stakes.
We could sponsor. We could sponsor multiple races and just spend a couple $100 just to fuck with the announcers.
Yeah, and then have the announcer trying to say steaks.
Get it?
Yeah, you do it steaks as in the meat. Steaks. And
the steak rib steaks or something.
No. It's gonna be like steaks.
The steaks.
Yeah, just to throw the announcer off, so they've got to read out this shit.
We got to name. What do you reckon? Name a race in Russian or something. That'd be great.
Well, it's just gonna be stuff that's hard to pronounce or things that are pranks.
Yeah.
I still feel like that we
that's a
should be
good
doing
idea.
one of a surprise announcement, like for your brother to.
Oh yeah.
Will you marry me?
Yeah. I love the sound of that.
Imagine.
We are going to do that.
Imagine that was the way to propose.
We'll get my brother on here one day and we'll get him to do it live on it. It goes on YouTube and see how long it actually takes for someone to watch it and the message to actually get back. That would be priceless.
Imagine that's your idea of romance, is naming a dog race.
What do you reckon? Yeah.
Imagine how much your partner would be.
Let's do it. Amelia, will you marry me, Stace? For $100.
No idea.
For $100, that'd be the best thing ever.
You'd have to get it. You'd need to organize it so he and her were there. But then it's perfect.
No. You've got to get them watching Sky. You got to get them watching the TV.
Yeah.
Oh, surely, how can we organize that?
Or even having it names like Khabib Nurmagomedov, but like that kind of thing where it's hard as hell to pronounce.
No, I like the will you marry me stakes.
We just need like a whole bunch of syllables that are impossible to pronounce.
Yeah, well, some
TYZXY.
Or some like African name that's like 30.
Doesn't need to be a real name. It's got to have
some name.
I wish you could put like a click in there where it's like so
some name of some other culture or whatever that we really don't understand here
that we can't pronounce.
That we can't really pronounce. Just some name of some culture that just that the announcer
what
just goes.
What would be perfect is if you could do it and have all the dogs have names like that as well.
Oh yeah, well, yeah, that would be that. Then they'd have no chance. Which would be
you
priceless.
have the FFFTHHH.
Can you imagine just having it like written on the run sheet?
And then the dogs are like ST or like tss.
Yeah.
And in number 1 is tss. In number 3 is
I'm getting the hiccups from laughing about this, to be honest, too much.
The hiccups.
Yeah, that would be good, actually.
What if you named the dog like, how many woods would a woodchuck chuck?
Yeah.
Woodchuck wood.
How many woods would a woodchuck wood if a woodchuck wood steaks?
Steaky steaks. How many woods would a woodchuck chuck if a woodchuck could chuck woods? Steaky steaks.
How many steaks would a chef chop steaks if a chef chopped steaks in a kitchen? Steaks.
And then like you do like 5 races in a row, and then like the last one is like, I'm just trying to fuck with the announcer steaks.
Screwing with the announcer steaks.com.
Or you do it like, I'm a big fat moron and cannot call a race.
I can't call a race.com steaks. Yeah, that's what you do.
I'm a hopeless announcer.
I'm a hopeless announcer steaks.com steaks. You do like, you have like 3 races in a row where that's the last one. That's
or
a great
you do it
idea.
like STA, ST So it's like stay steaks.
Or I can't do my job properly, steaks. You have that lined up after all of them. I reckon that'd be quite funny.
Oops, I farted steaks.
Yeah. Oh, excuse me. Sorry. .com steaks or something.
I need to take a shit steaks.
Yeah, that would be quite good actually. Right.
Or you got to just get something where the word steaks.
Just completely random.
Where steaks fits in part.
Yeah. Or you can call it like a maiden plate or something classic or something.
Or just like, oi, where's my hat plate?
Where's my hat? Where's my hat, mate? Plate or something. Or how to take a shit classic.
Obviously, they're not going to let you swear, so it's got to be stuff.
I don't know,
that's
something classy that sounds ridiculous.
Have you seen my anus steaks?
Have you seen my anus classic? I don't know, something like that. Weird.
Wait, you call it, this race is 560 meters and it's not a 560
Yeah. So it's like a 510 meter dog race and you go 720 meter sprint classic over 520 meters. That's so good.
No, you call it the one is going to win this stakes.
Yeah. Eight guaranteed to win classic.
Put your house on dog 6.
You know what you do? You have a dog, you have like one of the entrants in the race. So like you have a dog or a horse in a race, in the race, and you call the race that name's horse guaranteed to win classic.
Or you have it. I lost my house. I lost my house on a shitty dogs race, and all I got was this lousy race name, Stakes.
Something ridiculous. And
yeah,
you can go down any path with it, I reckon. Have we got anything else?
Or like, Jill, why did you leave me? You do it like really depressing stuff.
Oh, jeez. As I said, there's any number of paths.
Jill, why did you leave me? I'm sorry I cheated on you.
Yeah. Or it could be,
I swear I didn't know she was my sister. Stakes.
As I said, we could go down any path with this.
Someone spiked my 35th beer. The track owner will buy you all free beers. Stakes.
Yeah.
The beers are on me, Stakes.
Beers are on the house.
The announcer of this race will buy you beer.
Yeah. All right. I think we've gone down all the different paths.
No, I don't think we have.
Any more?
I'm sure there is a lot more you can go with.
Well,
quick.
Let's.
Wait. No, everybody evacuate. There's a fire.
Oh, yeah. That's good. That's great. Evacuate. No, can you imagine it just being like the evacuate now classic or something like
the
that.
British are coming.
Yeah, whatever.
Some
it is.
kind of warning system where it's like, I swear I thought the war was over.
Yeah. All right. I think we've come up with enough.
We've named too many races.
Yeah, exactly. All right.
I think we need the 4th place podcast stakes.
Yeah. Well, we should do that.
Yeah.
Well, we could make that as a race. 4th place podcast on Facebook. Whatever.
And then we should do like our own hate races. So it's like the 4th place podcast sucks. Stakes. Do not listen to the 4th
Don't
place.
Listen, yeah. All right.
The 4th place podcast isn't even 4th place.
Yeah.
It's 5,466
miles away. Yeah, whatever it is.
Or just give it a random number.
Yeah.
Like the name of the race is.
All right, we'll do that.
1,337,670.
We're going to sponsor a race and we'll post it up next time.
The winning lottery numbers this week are 5, 4, 3, 2. Imagine you did that and you actually hit the lottery.
That's so good. All right.
Roulette.
Oh yeah, roulette.
Tonight put on roulette. 36.
23, yeah.
23. 4, 3.
17, whatever it is. All right. I think that's enough.
Okay. We could go on and on.
We could go on
and
we
will.
Right. Anything else?
I've lost my phone stakes.
Oh, we did. Okay, we've had enough.
My phone has been
Right. Any other news?
Has anyone seen my dildo sticks?
Oh my god, that wouldn't get allowed. Just quietly.
Oh well, sorry.
Any other news?
Any other news? Steaks.
No.
Right. The ages of newspaper steaks.
That has been the Fourth Place podcast for this week. The
podcast is over steaks.
Yes.
Well, imagine we had the whole show done in dog races things. So our introduction is hello and welcome to the podcast steaks. Then we have like bits and pieces of in the middle, yeah, and then the ending is goodbye from the Fourth Place podcast steaks. Yeah. It's gonna happen one day.
It could work.
Probably
$100 each race, nothing. But anyway,
it's gonna cost a lot of money to.
Whatever, we'll work out something that's good.
Let's do it.
All right.
Bon voyage.
Bon voyage.
Name the dog race something stupid.